Zeke thought he was invisible. Maya believed she was smarter than any security system, and Leo never imagined a silent glass door would be the end. But the moment those automatic doors refused to open, all three realized they weren't just shoplifters anymore. The store was quieter than before, though they hadn't noticed it until now. Zeke instinctively tried pushing the doors open, but they didn't move an inch. He looked over his shoulder and realized the inner doors had also shut behind them. It used embedded RFID tags inside high-value merchandise. Leo stood still, eyes locked on the red blinking light above. Then the quiet buzz faded, followed by the faint hum of a small screen activating on the wall beside them. The trio turned to face it, their reflections trembling in the glass around them. The screen flickered, then displayed a split-view 3 camera feeds, each zoomed in on their faces. But these weren't live shots. They were clips from different stores, different days, different cities. Footage of Maya slipping earrings into her sleeve at a boutique in San Jose. Zeke pocketing sunglasses at an airport shop in Las Vegas. Leo walking casually out of an electronics store in Sacramento, a speaker tucked under his jacket. Their expressions changed instantly. Panic spread across their faces. They hadn't just been caught today, they had been watched for months, replaced by a subtle mechanical sound like a lock clicking into place. No threats, no shouting, just sterile instructions delivered with terrifying precision. They complied without hesitation, placing the watches down carefully, as if trying not to anger the machine behind the voice. But the door didn't open. The screen kept playing more footage, as if presenting evidence in a courtroom built from glass and steel. It wasn't just about this theft. It was about building a case, one that extended far beyond the walls of Landers & Co. The glass wasn't just for display, it was reinforced. They weren't just being held, they were being studied, and for the first time, the three realized this wasn't about catching them at the door. It was about proving everything they had done, one calculated move at a time. If any tagged item passed the final threshold without being deactivated at purchase, the system would activate a silent lockdown. The smart doors weren't just motion triggered, they were behavior sensitive, and the system had tracked every move Leo made inside the store. It had identified the sudden disappearance of 3 watches from their shelves and triangulated his path, behavior, and exit time. All of it was fed into an AI algorithm programmed to flag suspicious behavior in real time. They were boxed in a narrow chamber of glass and steel. For a few seconds, none of them spoke. Leo's breathing grew heavier, and Maya kept glancing around, looking for a camera, a speaker, anything. A low buzzing noise began to hum from above, barely audible but enough to signal something was happening. It wasn't the usual alarm they had expected. There were no flashing red lights, no security guards running toward them. Just a soft, eerie sound and a blinking red dot from a black dome in the ceiling. It was watching. When they stepped up to the glass doors, expecting them to slide open automatically, nothing happened. The doors remained shut. Leo pulled out his phone, but it didn't help. No signal inside the vestibule. They were completely cut off. Maya tried to stay composed, but her mind raced. This was supposed to be foolproof. She had double-checked everything, the timing, the blind spots, the exits. But there was no mention of this. No blogs, no news stories, nothing about a two-way containment system. Zeke waved his hand in front of the motion sensor. Still nothing. Behind them, a second pair of glass doors slid shut, sealing them in. They were trapped in a narrow vestibule, boxed in like animals. No alarms, no sirens, just silence and the growing sense that something had gone terribly wrong. Their hearts pounded. This wasn't just a locked door. This was a trap, and they had walked right into it. They were suspects in a high-tech takedown they never saw coming. On a quiet Saturday afternoon in Fresno, California, 3 friends Zeke, Maya, and Leo walked into Landers & Co., a sleek, high-end department store nestled in a downtown shopping plaza. The place was bright, polished, and filled with designer brands that screamed wealth. The trio didn't come to admire the merchandise, they came with a plan. Weeks of preparation had gone into this moment. Maya had studied the store's layout, memorized employee rotations, and even observed when the security guard left his post for lunch. Zeke knew where the cameras pointed and how to avoid them. Leo, always calm under pressure, would be the one doing the actual lifting. They had pulled off smaller jobs before: cosmetics, Bluetooth speakers, even a few pairs of sneakers, but this was their most ambitious attempt yet. Everything seemed to fall into place. Maya approached the front desk and pretended to ask questions about returning a jacket. She knew the employee would pull up a form on the computer, a move that forced them to look away from the surveillance monitor. At the same time, Zeke hovered near the entrance, nodding slightly to Leo when the coast was clear. Leo moved fast, slipping 3 luxury watches into the deep inner pocket of his hoodie. He didn't hesitate, didn't flinch. With each practice move, their confidence grew. It was like watching a performance they'd rehearsed 100 times. The adrenaline made everything sharper. Maya smiled as she wrapped up her conversation and casually walked toward the exit. Zeke was already waiting, phone in hand, pretending to scroll through Instagram. Leo followed behind, hands in his pockets, head down, just another teenager walking out of a store. But as they neared the exit, something felt off. The air felt heavier. The 3 stood frozen inside the glass enclosure, stunned and confused. This wasn't some random malfunction. It was a calculated move. The store had changed the game without warning. What they didn't know was that Landers & Co. had recently installed an experimental anti-theft system, one that didn't rely on alarms or human security alone. Back inside the vestibule, Zeke started pacing while Maya tapped repeatedly on the glass, hoping someone would respond. A soft mechanical click echoed through the enclosure. The voice that came through the speaker was calm, almost robotic. It instructed them to place the stolen merchandise on the floor and keep their hands visible. No threats, no shouting, just sterile instructions delivered with terrifying precision. They complied without hesitation, placing the watches down carefully, as if trying not to anger the machine behind the voice. But the door didn't open. The screen kept playing more footage, as if presenting evidence in a courtroom built from glass and steel. It wasn't just about this theft. It was about building a case, one that extended far beyond the walls of Landers & Co. Unknown to them, the store had partnered with a private security firm that specialized in tracking repeat offenders across multiple retailers. The firm used facial recognition technology, purchasing behavior data, and even social media activity to create behavioral profiles. Every time they'd celebrated a clean getaway, the system had filed away another detail, another clue. It had studied their timing, their body language, even the way they moved through aisles. Trying to offer it up, the booth wasn't just a trap, it was part of a larger process. As the footage continued to cycle on the screen, law enforcement officers began to gather near the entrance. Maya realized her mistake wasn't getting caught, it was assuming they were invisible. 2 uniformed officers stepped forward, calm but firm, handcuffs already in hand. None of the trio resisted. There was nothing left to do. They were led through the store in full view of shoppers, phones raised, cameras recording. The footage would surface online within hours. Headlines ran with terms like modern crime ring, high-tech takedown, and caught by artificial intelligence. Zeke, already on probation, was hit the hardest. His charges included felony theft and conspiracy. Maya faced multiple counts tied to the organization and planning of criminal activity, her flash drive being treated as a manifesto. Leo, the youngest at 17, was tried as an adult. Due to the scope of the crimes, their sentences varied, but the damage was long-lasting. They had built their operation on the belief that they were smarter than the system, but the system had evolved quietly, intelligently, and without warning. News outlets praised the store's cutting-edge security, but the internet did what it always does, it turned the trio into a spectacle. Memes flooded social media. In a world where every move is recorded and every pattern analyzed, they didn't just get caught. They got studied, profiled, and dismantled long before they even realized it. People reenacted their entrapment for likes and laughs. Maya became a symbol of overconfidence. Zeke's panic face was looped in GIFs. Leo's silence was mocked as cluelessness. What they had thought was a clean job became digital infamy, capturing not just their rest, but their humiliation. Maya kept her eyes on the floor. Zeke glanced once toward the ceiling camera, as if trying to stare down the machine that outsmarted him. Leo looked numb, his face blank, detached from the chaos unraveling around them. Every step they took had been recorded, analyzed, and stored. The system had simply waited for the right moment to reveal the truth. And now, there was no going back. They had already been contacted by the store's automated system when the lockdown was first triggered. Maya's flash drive only confirmed what the data had already proven. This wasn't a simple theft. This was organized retail crime. Investigators had already received the store's internal report, complete with timestamps, video evidence, and behavioral tracking. Maya's flash drive was turned over and immediately copied. It gave authorities everything they needed: proof of conspiracy, intent, and coordination across multiple locations. Their online search histories, group chats on encrypted apps, and burner phone records painted a detailed picture of their operations. They weren't seen as petty criminals anymore. They were a crew, small but organized, and that carried weight in court. As if confessing might change what was coming, understanding now that no amount of charm or denial could fix this. Zeke stared blankly ahead, his mind racing through escape plans that didn't exist. The system had outsmarted them at every turn. Their confidence had been built on a false sense of control, and now that control was shattered. But nothing happened. No voice acknowledged the gesture. No doors opened. The system didn't need her help, it already had what it needed. The cameras had caught the exchange, and the footage would only strengthen the case. In a moment of ironic betrayal, the very evidence Maya had kept to maintain control was now condemning her. Now it was all on display, and there was nothing they could do. The doors weren't locked because of what they stole. They were locked because the system had finally completed its pattern. And now, it was time to act. Each of the three had unknowingly built a digital trail. The system had connected their movements across cities, flagged their habits, and shared their identities with other retail partners. Landers & Co. wasn't just a trap, it was the final stop in a long chase. Inside the booth, the realization sank in. They hadn't been unlucky. They had been marked. Maya felt the walls closing in, not literally, but mentally. Her chest tightened with every passing second. She realized this wasn't just a security system. It was a silent courtroom, and the trial had already begun. Desperation took over as she reached into her bag and pulled out a small silver flash drive. It had been her backup plan, though never meant to be used like this. On that drive were floor plans of various stores, internal maps she'd sketched from memory, screenshots of employee schedules, and even surveillance videos they had recorded themselves using hidden phones. It was everything: proof of their planning, their method, their intent. She had kept it all organized for future jobs, convinced that having data made them smarter. Now, it made them vulnerable. Maya pressed the flash drive against the glass. Outside the enclosure, security staff had arrived, but they didn't rush in. Instead, they stood back and waited. Leo sat down on the floor, silent and pale, in that glass cell, with nowhere left to run. Within minutes, the glass enclosure opened, but it wasn't a relief, it was the beginning of the end. At the police station, things moved quickly. The story exploded online, but behind the viral moments were real consequences. Their final mistake wasn't theft. It was underestimating just how closely they were being watched. In a world where every move is recorded and every pattern analyzed, they didn't just get caught. They got studied, profiled, and dismantled long before they even realized it.